Dev stream. I was planning on dev streaming on Monday, but I had just an absolutely killer headache. It was, I don't usually get, well, I mean, I get headaches as often as anybody does. I don't, I don't get migraines or anything, that's what I'm trying to say. But that was, like, I was actually knocked out by that headache. I had no ability to do anything but just lie down and have a headache. And all I ate to cause that headache is a sardine egg salad sandwich. Something that would definitely not make anybody unhealthy or unhappy in any way. So, last we left off, I've got one small fix to do that I really think I can fix fairly quickly, and then my step 2 is just going to be like stare at RT Ennui for a while. So... yes, I wanted to make it so that the waveform could take its max values from elsewhere, which means this needs to be split up. I had already split up the update wave that was non-retroactive, so I just have push. So what I need to do... I may not even want push anymore, but as a first step, I need to just separate out the VAD setting. Oh, no. I needed to separate out sent recently, which I've already done. The VAD setting is fine. Right, so I need to make it possible for this to work via a message port, and the trick there was that the waveform and the processor can both change at essentially any point. So I need the ability to update sort of both ends of that in a way that is somewhat awkward. So let me see how those go. So like this, every time there's register new waveform, which should be in the constructor, yeah, so it's when there's a new waveform. And unfortunately, this is not the one that makes new waveforms. So it makes the waveforms as part of the processing, which is good, because that means I don't need to, like, repeat this step, so to speak. So what I'm going to need to do is just have the ability, when I'm here, to set both sides of the pipe. Like, I need to send one side of the pipe there and the other side of the pipe there. Okay. That is exceedingly doable. Do I have any diffs right now? No. Okay, so in proc and in out proc... I guess I need, yeah, the ability not in the actual initialization options, but with a created initialized processor. Yes, because they can sort of happen in any order, so... And I guess I need a protocol for that, but... I mean, I can just have that protocol be the message port protocol. Yeah, I don't need a new protocol for that. I can just have it be the waveform protocol. That's fine. which means that on the waveform, I just needed the ability to have a new receiver port, which is eminently doable. Let's just copy this to the output processor. So for the waveform processor, what I need is the ability to just set a new receiver. Oh, I see the trick. Right, because I only have the waveform worker as a interface. I don't have individual waveforms. So it doesn't really provide the interface that I need. So what I'm going to need to do is make a new interface. Waveform receiver. That just provides push. And that, in fact, I'm only going to need to worry about within the worker code, because that's sort of the point. It's inter-worker communication. So let's implement this side first. Oh wait, I do still need the ability to actually get the port. Okay. So on this side, kind of all near the end, I don't think update wave exists anymore, does it? Yeah, just retroactive. Why did this compile? Because all waveforms, the elements are waveforms, so the type checker should have detected that. Slightly concerned, but maybe I never got to the point of actually type checking this. It's possible I never actually compiled in the intermediate phase, but whatever. Let's go ahead and add this. Now I have to do this a little bit carefully here. I have to do this carefully because I don't want the one to keep the other. Oh, wait, no, because when one garbage collects, I don't want the one to keep the other alive. So I'm actually going to need a new waveform receiver class. RPC receiver. I want this to be constructed with an ID, so that here I can say all waveforms ID, not waveform, then just return. So if it's already been deleted, I'm not going to try and do anything with it. Otherwise, I will push valve add. And I don't need this extra case. There we go. For this ID, and RPC receiver dot RPC receiver. Target is this, and the port is that. This ain't right. The hell? I forget whether I needed to explicitly start port, but I think it's harmless to start it if I didn't need to, so I'm going to do so. That should be it, I suppose, on this side. And now I just need to do the other side. So on input processor, I'm actually going to need to import the waveform library as well, so that I can implement the other side of that. No, this should be extends, not implements. That's why I'm getting confused. Extends that, and it implements that. That's what I'm looking for. So we need push, and it's just going to be this dot RPZ. Actually, I'll do RPZ void. I don't even care about the return from this. This is a purely one-way communication. I just removed part that shouldn't be there. There we are. Make that optional. Now, if they set waveform port, then I going to do this dot waveform receiver equals new waveform receiver. Yeah, no, the one that was selected, thank you, on this port. And then what I need is when I get the maximum value, I'll just look for push. No, wait, it's not called push here. Dang it. Okay, yes, it's this.max. Yes, it's just a function here. So if thinking. If we have a waveform receiver, then I'm going to send it directly there, which is the same max value, but now I need to remember which VAD value I would have sent. Oh dear. So like raw VAD on and VAD on I know, but net.transmitting I don't. But that's part of like the good status. So, right? Is that good? Do I not have the good status here? Was I thinking of the... Oh, the good status in the waveform. Oh, okay. So actually, I don't even need to bother with net.transmitting because the waveform itself will black it out if it's wrong. So all I need is that if the raw VAD is on, it's 3. Otherwise, if the VAD is on, it's 2. Otherwise, it's 1. Is that right? How odd. I used different VAD levels. Normally 0 is not talking, but I guess I had 0 as error. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so if we have a waveform receiver, I can't type, then if the RTC VAD is on, then we send 3. Otherwise, if the VAD is on, we send 2. Otherwise, we send 1. Else, if we don't have that, then we just send it directly like so. Then in improc itself, we need to implement the other side of this, which is by far and away the hard part. Where did I put this in the interface? Okay. So we can, yes, we can create the port here and then set it on sort of either side. So when we do new waveform.waveform, at this point, maybe I'm trying to decide when I need to create each of these. I'll tell you what, I know what I can do. Okay, so at this point, if the worker is set, then they're both set. In which case, create a new message channel, and the waveform.display we set do I not export any of the correct things there? So this is actually not the waveform worker that is exposed, but the waveform, which is the problem. So I need did I not already put this here? Where is it? I guess I didn't already implement this on this side. Oops. That's right, I was only implementing things in the workers so far. Yeah, there we go. Still backwards. Let me quickly fix that. Okay, and then we need to expose something similar on the waveform itself. There's definitely a syntax error somewhere because it's not. Oh, I guess it is highlighting correctly. Something was causing it to highlight weirdly, but it seems right now. Okay, so now I should be able to do set waveform port. There we go. You get port 2. And worker. I don't need an exclamation point there. You get port 1. And then down here, you get port 2, and shouldn't need an exclamation point there either. You get port 1. Now let's attempt to handle the output processing side as well. I kind of have to do all of this at once and then just fix it bit by bit when I get there. Did I already do the interface? I don't think I did. I did. Look at that. And I guess I'm going to need the same sort of classes and such. So, again, make this async. I don't really want things getting promised up in multiple directions at the same time. Okay, so then we have an optional waveform receiver here. Thanks for adding bullshit. Go away. And this will actually create that. New waveform receiver on this port. Yes, this is an RPC target. Okay, I'm just confusing myself there. That's perfectly fine. And then when I'll just use do max as my suggestion here. So when I get the maximum value, there we go. And the VAD value is just made up here, but I don't honestly remember what made up VAD value I used. It's literally on the line. Oh, interesting. Did I really go that quiet? That's very quiet. No, actually, because of the logarithms, that's not very quiet. It's fine. Okay, and that way, we are bypassing the main thread. I don't know why I so confidently typed make there without redirecting the output so that I could capture what the first error is, because there's going to be about 1 million errors, and it's going to scroll off the screen. Here it comes. Here it comes. About to scroll off the screen. There it goes. Proc on line 51. Incorrectly inputs. Okay, so I didn't put... Oh, of course, yeah. I didn't actually hook it up on this one. Okay. Now I'm utterly stunned that on the main file, it seems to have thought there were essentially no errors. It was just like, yep, everything's great. Yeah, that was the only one. So presumably all the issues are in the workers. So here's going to be the real problem. There we go. The real problem is that I didn't write from properly. in either place. How did I make the same mistake twice? It's not like I copied the line from the one to the other. That's a weird mistake for me to make. Huh. I just forgot the syntax, I guess. Well, I don't know whether this works, but it was bizarrely easy. What you doing, Chrome? Hey there, Chrome. How you feeling? Having a good day? You just gonna spin on me forever, or there you go. Testing, testing. I mean, it is going through. This looks like the right data. I don't actually know whether I ever got to the point of testing whether this works. It does.
It does. I can hear myself.
Yep,
I can hear myself twice.
Now,
let's see whether the output processing
can
also show the right thing.
Absolutely not.
That is very bad.
That's surprisingly
bad,
actually. This is
getting updated, but the waveform isn't there. What's happening?
How is
that possible?
Like, this is
clearly me. It's a little bit confusing because we have the same name. The RMS
is getting
updated. And I think it might even...
Well, no, it can't be correct.
I guess I'm
not
speaking
very
very
well.
Oh, wait. It's using a microphone that's far away, so I'm effectively not speaking loud. But
let me... Yep,
that was a peak, and that peaked it.
So it's
updated. How is it possible that it's updating this information without updating the waveform? Like, actually, how is that possible?
I don't think
that it's not updating the waveform. I think there's a display issue. The hell?
So
here's...
the label's on top.
This canvas is just nonsense?
I think it must have not noticed that it needs to be
sending data in the first place.
Like, I'll bet that... Because it's not generating this data if it doesn't need it if you're not in studio mode. So I'm betting that the component that's supposed to detect that it needs it is not happening. Is there a quick way I can test for that? Yes, I can. In the worker... it shouldn't actually be harmful to just always do the maxing. It's just that it will draw when it doesn't really need to. So, not a huge deal. So if this shows both
both
ways.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
In
In the original one, it worked,
but
but in this one, it's not.
Oh, look at how very broken it is. It doesn't even have the label. Okay, so it's just something about switching modes. Huh, which it shouldn't be. But so, boy, there are a number of bugs here. And that number is not 0. So bug number the first, domax is clearly not being set correctly. Yeah, I don't actually call it domax there. Okay, right. We have RTC compression dot wave viewing as this global for whether it's currently wave viewing. And it almost certainly defaults to false, yes. And then presumably, yes. So I don't really know of any reason why any of that should have changed. Unless, of course, I never put it in compressors or something? Seems fine. The thing we're putting there is maybe the right thing. So it should have the worker in it. Yeah, it's the worker I'm actually calling set max on. Yeah, makes sense. It's in the UI implementation that it sets that. It should really just be whenever it sets the view. Right, view mode change, fine. So it just sets it to whether it's currently studio. Because only in studio mode do you look at other people's waveforms. Let me make sure that I didn't do something just obviously foolish here. Do max is set to 2. No, that's fine. Well, I guess I can check that I didn't do something equally obviously foolish here. Nope, that just sends it on. Thinking. This isn't ideal. Oh wait, this is in the worker. That's ideal. This is fine. Okay, so let's see. just try and get a little bit of diagnostics to figure out where things are not doing the right thing. So, yeah, without anybody else connected, I shouldn't get any diagnostic messages on that. But now of course, it worked. Okay, I guess I didn't quite test this situation initially. So let me do a better test. Let me start in normal mode. And then have somebody join. And then go into studio mode. Do max said it's true, but it's not maxing. Or at least it certainly doesn't seem to be. I wonder if it somehow got set to the wrong waveform. Well, no, it's definitely not. It has the right label. Maybe this is some bug in how I actually use do max. I don't know how it's possible that I could have had a bug there. So when I get new data, it's just an if. It's really hard to imagine how I have a bug there. Unless it's... No. There is no unless. I have no idea how there could possibly be a bug here. When does it report the Mac? It just has a counter. Let me see what the max counter is, just for my own edification. Well, if it even makes it into this. Okay. What the heck? Why did it take so long to... Oh, I had to talk. Duh. Yeah, won't do the max. If it hasn't received any data, it has to have some data to max. So it is, or at least it thinks it is, doing the max, and the number seems to be going round and round. Oh. Does the waveform receiver just get junked entirely when I switch modes? Ultimately, it should just be by ID, though, so maybe that doesn't even matter. Wait. Are there any references? The waveform is getting garbage collected. Are there any references to the waveform? Not in the worker. Oh, wait, but why? Well, I guess I guess that doesn't make any sense. No, we keep the worker. No, it's not the worker I care about, it's the waveform. We have no references to the waveform. And it is now, but wasn't before, the reference to this that keeps this alive. But surely, just having worker.onMax is a reference. There's some interaction, either like the garbage collector doing something surprising, or the like the waveform sort of client, the thing that puts all the waveforms together, doing something surprising. I don't think it's possible for it to be the garbage collector because there's no way for it to know that onMax is not really going to be used in this case. I'm going to have to analyze the other code. We're getting deep into Rice's theorem nonsense here. And besides, the canvas and such all exist. It's just that it wasn't displaying anything. Let me instead... is there a good way for me to do this? Trying to find a way to, log on both sides of that communication. The problem being that one side is easy to log on, the other side may as well be impossible. This side is easy. The other side... I guess I just need to make sure that it's not... Because the problem is that they're all just waveforms, and so it'll display the same thing for both sides. And so I'll get confused. I need to make sure that I'm talking about not the first waveform. So let's see. The ID is actually given by this, and it's just a counter. Yeah. Okay, it starts at 0, so that's easy enough. Yes. Yeah, but if the waveform does get recreated for any reason, right, because they're not the IDs as in the client IDs, they're just an arbitrary waveform ID. So it's possible that the one waveform is getting deleted at somewhere, and I'm just unclear about how they're getting created and deleted when going into and out of studio mode. I'm hoping that's not the problem, because there should only be one. It shouldn't really need to get complicated. Okay. It's receiving. Oh, of course. Okay, but it's receiving 2 for every send. Approximately. I mean,
they're not
like
synchronized with respect to each other, but yeah, approximately 2 receives for every send, which means that it is receiving on both. Attempting to use the ID was quite silly. That was never going to work.
So, is the problem that this doesn't have a valid ID? Like, was the actual underlying waveform recreated? I don't know how it would be. It's just created with new. And I only made the one. Like, it's complicated in the
normal user case because that's a recreated because there are two ways that their waveform can be shown.
But there's only
one way to show an external waveform.
There's no mystery receives. So what is it doing? Does it for some reason think that it just doesn't need to show it? So if we get a push, then it does all of the sort of mechanics of pushing. That's right, we know that it got at least this far. Let's see if we can see... How do you spell in queuing? Maybe like that. Let's see if we can see multiple IDs getting enqueued. Mind you, if we do, I have no idea what that means. We see multiple IDs getting enqueued, and my main conclusion for that is that I am profoundly confused. Didn't really want to start in waveform in studio mode.
Okie dokie.
So yes,
you
see,
can see like there are two things getting enqueued. Wait, but there shouldn't be.
Because it shouldn't be doing the
maximum data
if it's not in the studio mode. So why are there two things being enqueued? Huh. I'm so confused right now. I think I know the answer to why it's getting enqueued, even though I'm not asking it to. At least I have a guess. Because this, which I really ought to be doing differently, is not checking whether it even should be sending the maximum value. And yes, all of these really shouldn't be max 0. Oh. This. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this the other way. Oh, God. But that's not actually the mystery I was trying to solve there. Is there something in the waveform worker itself that's preventing it from getting actually displayed? Just goes over the list and displays them all. It just goes over the list and displays them all. I'm really like groping around to try and figure out what could be happening here, but the fact that it is receiving on two waveforms, like on two IDs, and it's going all the way through, which I already knew because it at least makes it to this point because it does the reporting, and yet it just doesn't draw? It just doesn't draw for some reason? Why not? Why not draw? I wonder, because I had to implement this wackadoo resize mechanism, and I wonder if it's not great if the waveform isn't visible. I wonder if I can do like an explicit resize, and that'll like kick it in gear, and if that's the case, then I've got at least some idea of how to deal with this. Let's not start in this mode. Is my video stream completely busted? Because I just noticed on, no, it's not. Okay. Restream for some reason was really struggling, but I don't know if that was real or just Restream being weird. Anyway. It's still in queuing two. I mean, everything about this is confusing right now. So no. Yeah, it's not even like setting the canvas size. truly broke something, and I just have no clue how. Just, like, no clue. Was that not where that is? Where is that message? Did I not recompile? I was just testing nothing because I didn't recompile my code. How many attempts have I just tried to test? All of which I was not recompiling my code because I'm a moron! But actually, if my query is correct, then resizing it would have helped anyway. So. Oh. Clearly my resizing handler isn't working at all. Well, that's annoying. The fact that it's observing one thing and unobserving a different thing certainly can't be good. Oh, the canvas is never gonna resize, and I obviously, only the wrapper is gonna resize on its own. And I obviously, like, noticed that at one point and failed to notice that at the other point. Where is the wrapper? Did I not use that in register waveform? Did I not need the wrapper previously? Yeah, I guess the thingy doesn't need it. I'll bet this is the problem. I was just watching the wrong thing. Because the canvas won't change size on its own. And I'll bet that becoming visible, because it is actually like display none. Like if you change visibility with the CSS visibility tag, then that doesn't change the size because it is still part of the document, it's just invisible. If you change it with display none, then the size becomes 0 because it's effectively not part of the document. So hopefully the resize observer should be able to detect visibility changes as resize changes because I implemented them correctly. But we're about to find out. Well, maybe. Yeah, that was the whole thing. That was everything. Yeah, look at that. Lol. Oh, that was sad. Pathetic. Yeah. Okay. So the other problem I was observing is definitely the same problem, actually. It was that if I started in studio mode, then it sometimes wouldn't detect it either. Well, actually, I guess that might not be the same problem, because it's not actually getting resized there. So maybe it, it doesn't like work out the original size, I guess. No. That is not the problem. Oh, yeah, here it's not even actually computing it. So this is like very different. See, no label, so it's not computing the information.
information.
So if you start in studio mode, and there are people in chat immediately. So they don't join late because you can see they weren't here, but they're just already there when you join, which means that the output processor is being created sort of ASAP. There's probably a race condition about something. Did I even check the console? Oh, well, the console's not useful because I have a bunch of garbage in it. This will be the last thing I do today. I don't have time to keep debugging this, and either this will fix it. Well, obviously this won't fix it, but either there will be something in the log that suggests what I should do, in which case I can fix it, or I'm confused, in which case I will be confused some other time. Yeah, that did nothing, so... and I don't see anything suggestive in the log. Let me actually reconnect and make sure I'm getting the entire log. And there we go. No, nothing. But it's definitely nothing new with the server. Bugs upon bugs upon bugs. Well, guess I'll have to fix that some other time.